20 worst muscle cars ever made. When you think of a muscle car, what probably comes to mind is power, sleek designs, and captivating curves. And while many classic muscle cars live up to this image, there are a few that seriously fall short. So, here are 20 muscle cars that were intended to be part of the muscle car legacy, but, unfortunately, ended up being major disappointments once they hit the streets. 20. Ford Mustang II. The Ford Mustang II is often considered a low point in muscle car history, mainly because it strayed so far from what made the original Mustang a legend. Released during the mid-1970s energy crisis, the Mustang II focused on fuel efficiency, sacrificing the power and boldness that defined its predecessors. Its smaller size and lackluster performance tarnished the Mustang's reputation, marking it as a regrettable deviation from the iconic Mustang image. 19. AMC Matador Machine. The AMC Matador Machine is remembered as a failed attempt to merge muscle car power with the standard Matador platform. Launched in the early 1970s, it struggled to deliver on either front, offering uninspiring engines and a forgettable design. The Matador Machine lacked the raw power and charisma expected from a muscle car, making it a largely overlooked and unsuccessful experiment in American Motors lineup. 18. Chevrolet Vega. The Chevrolet Vega secured its spot on the list of worst muscle cars because of its poor performance and even worse reliability. Introduced in the early 1970s, the Vega quickly gained a bad reputation for engine failures and rust problems. Its underwhelming power and numerous mechanical flaws left many enthusiasts frustrated, making it one of Chevrolet's more regrettable attempts at a performance car. 17. Dodge St. Regis. The Dodge St. Regis stands out for all the wrong reasons in the muscle car world. Largely, Regis had a bland design and lacked the high-powered engines that muscle cars are celebrated for. Its lackluster performance and conservative styling meant that it didn't stir any excitement among car enthusiasts, making it a disappointing footnote in the history of muscle cars. 16. Pontiac Sunbird. The Pontiac Sunbird lands on the list of the worst muscle cars primarily because it lacks the performance expected of a true muscle car. Released in the late 1970s, the Sunbird came equipped with engines that failed to impress and a design that didn't stand out. Its lack of power and forgettable style left muscle car enthusiasts disappointed, making it a rather dull entry in Pontiac's lineup that failed to deliver the excitement one would hope for in this category. 15. AMC Hornet AMX. The AMC Hornet AMX is considered one of the weaker muscle cars due to its inability to live up to the robust image of American Motors muscle cars. Introduced in the early 1970s, the Hornet AMX struggled to provide the thrilling performance that muscle car fans expected. With its modest power and conservative design, it failed to ignite any real enthusiasm, marking it as a less remarkable chapter in the history of AMC's performance vehicles. 14. Dodge Diplomat. The Dodge Diplomat stands out for the wrong reasons in the muscle car world, primarily because it strayed too far from the high-performance expectations of the category. Released in the late 1970s, the Diplomat was characterized by its conservative styling and absence of the powerful engines that defined its peers. Its mediocre performance left muscle car fans wanting more, making the Diplomat an easily overlooked and unremarkable entry in Dodge's muscle car lineup. 13. Ford Gran Torino Elite. The Ford Gran Torino Elite is remembered as a misstep in Ford's muscle car history, largely because it shifted away from the aggressive style and performance that made the Gran Torino line famous. Launched in the mid-1970s, the Elite was more focused on luxury, sacrificing the muscular traits of its predecessors. With its toned-down power and departure from the traditional muscle car image, the Gran Torino Elite remains a disappointing deviation from what the Gran Torino name had come to represent. 12. 1982 Chevrolet Camaro Iron Duke. The 1982 Chevrolet Camaro Iron Duke was powered by a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine, producing a mere 90 horsepower, making it the least powerful Camaro ever. Paired with a 3-speed automatic, it took a painful 20 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. Despite improved reliability over time, the Iron Duke was underwhelming and far from the high-performance expectations associated with the Camaro name, remaining a low point in Camaro's history. 11. 1974 Pontiac GTO. The 1974 Pontiac GTO marked a steep decline from its original 1964 predecessor, which was celebrated as the first true muscle car. Downgraded to a 350 CID V8 with just 200 horsepower, the 1974 model lacked the power and excitement of earlier versions. Despite its GTO badging, it earned the unflattering nickname Granny's Car, leading to the eventual discontinuation of the GTO line. 10. 1978 and 1979 Oldsmobile 442. By 1978, the Oldsmobile 442 had lost its former glory. Once known for its powerful 455 CID V8 with 370 horsepower, the downsized model now offered a choice between a 3.8-liter V6 or a 5.0-liter V8, both maxing out at a disappointing 160 horsepower. Even the 1979 Hearst edition, with a 5.7-liter V8, only managed 170 horsepower, making the once legendary 442 a shadow of its former self. 9. 1982 Pontiac Trans Am. The 1982 Pontiac Trans Am boasted a bold, futuristic design with its rounded hood and fenders, even earning a starring role as Kit in the TV show Knight Rider. However, the car's performance didn't live up to its tough exterior. The base model came with a 2.5-liter Iron Duke 4-cylinder engine that put out a mere 90 horsepower, which was a huge disappointment. Despite its cool looks, the 1982 Trans Am didn't deliver the muscle car performance it promised. 8. 1980 to 1985 Chevrolet Citation X11. The Chevrolet Citation X11 aimed to be more than just a stylish four-wheel drive car. It featured a 135 horsepower HO 2.0-liter V6 and sports suspension, but its potential was marred by a tendency to lock the rear wheels during hard braking. The X11 also faced numerous factory recalls, making it a problematic vehicle despite upgrades like a new steering rack and a dual-tip exhaust for better torque. 7. 1980 to 1981 DeLorean DMC-12. Famous for its role in Back to the Future, the DeLorean DMC-12 had style but lacked muscle. Its 130 horsepower Peugeot Renault Volvo 2.8-liter V6 provided sluggish acceleration, taking 10.5 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. Despite plans to turbocharge the engine, the company declared bankruptcy before improvements could be realized, leaving the DMC-12 as an iconic but underpowered disappointment in automotive history. 6. 1980 to 1981 Mercury Capri Turbo RS. The Mercury Capri Turbo RS, a European import, was the Mustang's baby brother with a long hood and short hatchback. Its 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine with a Garrett turbocharger delivered just 132 horsepower, far from a true performance car. Despite sporty elements like a front air dam and aero window, the Turbo RS couldn't live up to its muscle car aspirations, leaving it a footnote in Capri's history. 5. 1976 to 1980 Plymouth Volare Roadrunner. The Plymouth Volare Roadrunner fell short of its legendary predecessors like the Superbird. With a weak 318 CID V8 producing just 160 horsepower, even the optional 360 CID V8 with 196 horsepower couldn't match earlier models. Rust issues also led to a major recall in 1977, while design elements like slats and stripes gave it character. Its lackluster performance made it an underwhelming successor in the Roadrunner lineup. 4. 1978 AMC Gremlin GT. The 1978 AMC Gremlin GT attempted to add flair to the quirky Gremlin design with a spoiler, flared fenders, and an upgraded interior. Despite its sporty makeover, it still relied on a 120 horsepower 304 CID V8, later replaced by a torquey but underpowered 4.2-liter V6. With fewer than 3,000 units produced, the Gremlin GT was a final, modest attempt at performance before AMC replaced it with the Spirit in 1979. 3. 1977 Chevrolet Monza Mirage. The 1977 Chevrolet Monza Mirage, inspired by the Chevy Vega, featured a striking white body with red and blue racing stripes, flares, and a unique air dam. Despite its sporty appearance, the only engine option was a 305 CID 5-liter V8. Michigan Auto Technique's customization couldn't save it, and after 1977, the Monza Spyder overshadowed the Mirage, leaving this model to fade into obscurity. 2. 1980 Chevrolet Corvette California 305. The 1980 Corvette California 305 suffered from federal emissions regulations, forcing a downgrade to a 305 CID V8 with just 180 horsepower, paired with a sluggish 3-speed automatic. Acceleration was dismal compared to a Vespa. While non-California models had a slightly better 5.7-liter engine, they still only made 190 horsepower. California buyers also had to pay for emissions certification, though they received a small credit in return. 1. 1971 to 1975 Ford Maverick Grabber. The Ford Maverick Grabber, a compact pseudo-muscle car, was based on the 1960 Ford Falcon, featuring special graphics, trim, and a spoiler. It initially offered a decent 210 horsepower with a 302 CID V8. However, later models dropped to just 129 horsepower. Despite its sporty appearance and luxury options, it couldn't deliver the muscle car performance enthusiasts expected, making it more of a cosmetic upgrade than a true muscle car. So, what are your thoughts on these muscle cars? Did any of these surprise you? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more automotive content. Thanks for watching.